There was a thought that I had before, and it popped up again, and it's something that a realization that I've had, and these are not new realizations, but sometimes old realizations that you have for the 150th time really sink in. One of the things I notice, and sometimes you say things offhandedly that really address an issue. One of the things that I addressed in a workshop that we had, where people were talking, there was a lot of energy, there was a lot of different opinions, and I was listening because I was trying to perceive the different sides. One of the things that I find a reoccurring phenomenon in meetings is that a lot of times is wasted in meetings because you have different people with different interests that feel the need to communicate legitimately, rightfully so, their stance. And usually it starts off with, sometimes it's the department head who says, this is important to me.
We should do something about it.
We should do something about it. And then somebody raises their hand and says, yes, but, and then they say something completely different. Mm-hmm. And the department head is not listening. Mm-hmm. It feels, you're not responding to what I just said. Mm-hmm. I feel like you're not listening. I have to repeat myself.
Mm-hmm. You know what is one reason why this happens? It's the word but.
Maybe, but there we go. So what he says is, I have the feeling that they double down and they repeat themselves, and the person who said something says,
no connection.
They feel like, well, you're not listening to me, so I want to make sure that my point is heard, so they repeat themselves. And often you're in workshops where you have 10 different parties talking past one another. They might not even have a conflict, but they don't feel like you're listening. And one of the standard things I say is that we don't really speak. I don't believe that human beings are that adamant about being right all the time.
No.
I think what's more important to them is being heard.
Yes.
And they're willing to relinquish their opinion if the majority thinks something else, as long as they have the feeling, I've been respected in the process, you've actually listened to what I've said, mm-hmm. and the majority prefers something else for a legitimate reason that you share that I understand. That's kind of the challenge of communication.
It's about the process of communication. That's why the model is called like this. It's process communication model. It's about the communication process. It's not about the content. It's about, I'm respected with my way of communicating with other people.
Yeah.
And it's not about, hey, you're saying your point of view, I'm saying my point of view. There's no connection between.
And you can see it on the faces where you can see, I feel disrespected because you're not valuing my opinion. They're not listening to your opinion. They're trying to get their opinion across.
And the interesting thing is, it's not done intentionally.
No.
When you told the story, I had a situation in a seminar in mine. It was, I think, 5:00 p.m. Everybody was tired. It was in the winter. Outside it was dark. A lot of content, and there's one person starting a statement. So mm-hmm. PCM. When I compare this to other models, like I had seen a long, complicated sentence.
Yeah.
So my colleague heard the question. There was no question, and started an explanation as well, a long one. I was observing this and say, hey, I think there must be added something to this answer of these questions that never was asked. So I added something with a long sentence as well. This circle moved on for about 10 minutes. And then I realized, hey, now something in the facilitation is moving the wrong direction. You can literally see the people.
Because the people are not involved, they're watching you go around in the carousel.
Yeah. So, and then I'm thinking about, now I'm going to apply PCM. So what's happening here? There was one participant with we call the be perfect driver of the thinker. Be perfect explanations.
So for those of you who are confused with the vocabulary, don't worry, we're going to talk about where you can get training so that you can understand that in greater depth. But we'll get to that.
So a complicated sentence. My colleague, again, a complicated sentence. Me, a complicated sentence. So
you're adding like fuel to the fire.
No, it's a virus infection. If one guy starts, you invite the other starting as well. So what I did, I'm using PCM. So I saw this person, complicated sentence means, okay, this person is in the thinker flow. What does he need right now? It's a simple question. And I asked him, is there any questions that you want to have answered from us? And he said, no, I just want to add this. And the situation was resolved. And I was standing like this, wow, this is the power of PCM. Because if I would have seen this earlier, I would have saved 15 people, 10 minutes of lifetime.
I don't know if it was PCM, but many years ago, when I was working in hospitality, I worked for the Four Seasons Hotel Company, and the whole staff was trained. It was probably a PCM principle. We were taught on how to deal with complaints.
Yeah.
And they said, you know, the biggest mistake that we make when people are aggressive and angry is that we go into a defensive mode, right? When all they really want is they want to be heard.